Members of a key protest group in Turkey say the Prime Minister has agreed to wait for a court to decide how to handle that development project in Istanbul. The Taksim Solidarity members were part of a larger group that met early Friday in Ankara with Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The group says it will present the Prime Minister's offer to protesters in the park later today.
Turkey's Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan says no construction work will take place in Istanbul's Gezi Park until a court has ruled on the project and a referendum has taken place in the city. He made the pledge at a meeting with opponents of the Gezi redevelopment plans. The talks took place just hours after Erdogan issued a stern warning to protesters to go home.
We will not take any steps until the judicial process is over. Even if the verdict is favourable, paving the way for the project, our government will hold a referendum to find out what the people want.
On that basis, protesters were asked yet again to pack up their tents and go home. But protest representatives said it wasn't up to them.
We are going back to Gezi Park now, and tomorrow morning we will be evaluating this with our friends, and we will announce our decision tomorrow night.
Gezi Park is a rare bit of green space in Istanbul. It's where demonstrations began against plans to build a shopping mall there.
Demonstrators remain defiant, raising fears of new confrontations with police. The civil unrest started spreading across Turkey late last month, with protesters turning violent.
I don't think that has convinced a lot of the people for two reasons. One, because the group that was called to meet with the Prime Minister was not really a representative body of the protesters here. They were handpicked by the government, so that didn't go too well with the protesters here. And second, again, the referendum shows, again, whatever the majority says we'll do despite what the minority wants. So a lot of the criticism towards the Prime Minister was about the polarization he's causing in the people. And again, the referendum, which is a yes or a no vote, will again bring the two, let's say, opposing parties.
The protests in Taksim Square began as a response to a violent police crackdown on people who'd wanted to stop Gezi Park from being redeveloped. But it's turned into something far wider. And some of those there said the meeting between protesters and the Prime Minister overnight had missed the point.
I still don't think the government has understood that this is a problem that's bigger than Gezi Park. The crowd here want human rights and for international law to be implemented in Turkey.
But Turkey's Prime Minister is becoming increasingly impatient with the demonstrations, which have again continued into the night. The European Parliament joined calls earlier against the use of harsh measures on peaceful protesters. All eyes now will be on what happens next.